Hello and welcome to The Holistic Way. My name is Todd Hart. I'm the host of the show. And today I have a couple of guests with me from Cape Cod. I have Alicia Mathewson and Kristen O'Toole, who are practitioners of Rising Star Energy Healing, and you're a Rising Star Energy Healing teacher.
Correct.
So welcome to the show. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself and about the energy system.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks for having us. Kristen, you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure. I'm Kristen O'Toole, and I'm a yoga teacher and Rising Star Energy Healing practitioner, and I'm in Barnstable Village, Cape Cod.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Like you said, my name's Alicia, and I grew up on Cape Cod, and then, like many people, left it and went and spent some time in New York City and around the world, and I'm back there now and founded a business. Mm-hmm. I'm a singer, songwriter. I do chanting for yoga. And this Rising Star Energy Healing is my primary modality that I use to work with people who want to transform or awaken in any way.
Now, can you tell us the history of the,
Sure.
the modality?
I first learned about it when I was living in New York City. There's a man named Derek O'Neill, who's based in Ireland. And he started to come to New York City around 2003. Mm-hmm. I met him, I think it was about 2006, and I went to one of his More Truth Will Set You Free workshops, and I learned about this energy, and at that point, I hadn't done any energy healing or anything, and I went to a massage therapist, and she did this healing, and it was so both peaceful and things that I felt like I was going to have to just live with for the rest of my life, sort of the way I thought about things or things I struggled with started to change.
Are these physical ailments, or are you talking about psychological things from your past?
Yeah, for me it was mostly spiritual, mental, emotional, but many people have had physical healings. In fact, the first time that Derek used this energy in a workshop, there's a story about it where it was a woman who had scoliosis, and he used the energy, and I was not present, but people say that her spine literally straightened. So we are learning more and more about the energy, and it works like many other modalities on the 7 chakra system, and also on all parts of your body, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic.
Now, I'm familiar with Reiki. Is this similar to Reiki, or is it a hands-on? Is it a hands-off approach?
It is hands-on and hands-off. Sometimes I say it's similar to Reiki in the sense that you lay on a table and there's a practitioner. But in my experience, it's more like a laser, and the practitioner is out of the way. So it's a source-to-source healing. So your source and your whole collective energy field, all of your experiences, is going to come through you, work through you, and the practitioner is just like a channel of it. So in that sense, you don't have to be tuning in to where you need to be.
So are you sort of, forgive the language, but cleaning up or kind of removing blocks to energy paths? Is that what's going on?
I would not say that. I would say that more so that the energy does the work itself. So it's very precise. And the way that the Rising Star energy works is that the practitioner is basically there as a conduit. And so you're not the doer. The practitioner is simply there. And we have a pretty awesome job to be able to sit in meditation and sit with Source. So that's really, we're given a set of tools that we do during a session that bring forth this energy, and we have a pretty wonderful, easy job.
So are you awakening the person to
the person
the knowledge of
themselves
this energy
to
and what's going on? So is that what's happening?
Yes, that is a bit of what's happening. So it believes the idea is that all healing is self-healing, and that it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard, you know, a mirror. We're all a mirror, and sometimes it gets cloudy, and you need to polish the mirror.
Okay.
So, for instance, someone could come in with a bad back, you know, and through the rising star, they might address a long issue they have with their father. You know, emotionally, because the spine tends to be father support. And so through doing that work, that energetic, emotional, spiritual work supported by the energy, the physical heals itself.
And most specifically is that they're coming to that realization themselves versus the healer, the practitioner saying, oh, this is now your new awareness coming from me.
Right.
This is their awareness coming to themselves.
Now, is there a dialogue at the beginning when you first meet with, I don't know if they're called a client, but to kind of figure out where they are and why they're coming to you? And then is there dialogue during the process, almost like a counseling session, or is it more meditative?
That's a great question. It's not talk therapy. So each practitioner works that out for themselves. I tend to be a big talker and very heady, so I try to keep it very little because it's really about allowing the energy and allowing us to drop into that place that's not words and talking.
Okay.
You know, we were talking before the show started about how 90% of us is unconscious,
Right.
and 10% is conscious.
Right.
So this energy can go in, and like you said, I wouldn't use the word clean, but I would say make known that which
Bring awareness.
you're ready to release.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you become certified as a teacher or as a practitioner? What's the difference between the two?
So as a teacher, I can train and initiate practitioners.
Ah, okay.
And I actually trained and initiated
cool.
Kristen.
And that's how I've come to know the Rising Star.
Okay.
Yeah. Although she has also been with Derek in person. Derek O'Neill is the master teacher of the training, and I was initiated by him directly and his wife Linda in Ireland. So you would go to Ireland if you wanted to become a teacher. But anybody can become a practitioner, and there's practitioners all over the country.
Now, how old is the practice itself? Did you
Yeah, it's
were saying
about
earlier?
9 years old.
Okay.
As you know, known on the planet right now. Yeah.
And does it have its roots in, because there's a symbol, I know you brought a symbol,
Yes.
and we're going to talk about the symbol, but
Yeah.
it reminds me of Egyptian. I see some symbols from other religions
Sure.
in there. So maybe we can bring up the symbol and talk about it on the screen.
Sure.
And tell us what that is and how that applies to what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So this symbol, the full symbol, this is the first symbol that came through, and it's actually called the Prima Agni. And do you want to talk a little bit about Prima Agni?
Yeah. So the Prima Agni is in Sanskrit, and Prima means love, Agni means fire, and this specific healing symbol speaks to the fire of divine love. And when drawing this symbol on somebody, they have an opportunity to sit in a really wonderful space and open to equally receiving and giving love and balance. And Derek talks about it as activating the sacred heart. So
the symbol is actually drawn on the person's
Traced it, yeah. Like
on their back?
Sure.
Okay.
You can also trace it in the air. And if you look at this symbol, it's 4 simple steps. And I can do it right now if you want.
That'd be great. If you want to take us through it. Sure.
Yeah, you want to learn how to do it? So you take your fingers like this, as if you have lasers of light coming out. And the first step is the triangle. So you come down like this. Then you come back up to the top of the triangle, and you do 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You come all the way down. If you were on their back, that would be to the base of the spine.
Okay.
Okay. Come up and you do the heart. And you come all the way down again to the base of the spine. You come over and you do the crossing. If you're on their back, you would just put your hand right behind their chakra. And the way you activate the symbol is you say Prima Agni, Prima Agni, Prima Agni.
And what does that mean?
Fire of divine love.
Okay.
So Prima means love, Agni means fire, and that's in Sanskrit. People that study yoga or study Sanskrit may have very well heard, heard these words.
Sure.
This first symbol opens the heart to receive unconditional love. In our chakra system, many of us get blocked in the heart. So the energy that we receive coming down will bypass the heart and go into our lower chakras.
Ah, interesting.
Or energy coming up from Mother Earth will bypass our heart and we're all in our head. Okay? So this helps to balance that. And so this symbol is a great first symbol. And then the rising star energy, which we don't have a slide for, I apologize, but the bottom half of it includes the Prima Agni.
And that's what's on your necklace?
And then you see the full rising star here.
Okay. I don't know if they can see that. I'm trying to see if they can see that on the screen. I forget what I was going to ask you.
Yes,
I apologize.
And why that's happening, Todd, is that we just
yeah.
activated the symbol in the studio right now. So that activation, sorry, I just activated it by saying those three words. And so there is sort of a like, oops, what am I talking about?
Okay,
and the mind kind of goes blank.
So if you're tracing it on the back, are you actually touching? Is there a physical touch? Is there pressure going on? And are you using any sort of oils? I'm a big essential oils person. Is there any kind of?
Yeah.
No other modality is used through the Rising Star, like oils or any other type of
crystals,
attuning crystals,
like
stones, whatever else there might be in the New Age world. It's just a specific modality.
We just keep it simple, the energy.
Okay.
So there are plenty of Rising Star practitioners that are also essential oil, or like I'm also a singer. She also teaches yoga. But when you're doing the Rising Star session, you keep it just the Rising Star session.
Or the Prima Agni.
Yeah, you don't bring in any...
What's the difference between that Prima Agni and what you were talking about?
Great question. So the Prima Agni, we just traced and we learned how to draw, and anybody can draw that.
Okay.
For anybody. The one thing that is asked is if you use that symbol on somebody, that it's like a pay it forward. You ask the person to give $7 to any charity, not you.
Wow.
Or, so it's
That's
a pay
cool.
it forward, and that just keeps the energy flowing in integrity.
Sure.
So the Rising Star would be an actual session that you would pay for. You'd come to one of our offices. You'd lay on a table, fully clothed, no oils, no massage, gentle touch, and it takes about, 40 minutes to an hour. And that is recommended that you do 3 of those sessions. And the energy will last for about 21 days. So it's kind of over a 9-week process. And people have found that they can really, some people who have been living with a certain trauma their whole life will finally move out of what might be called like a victim place into a much more empowered place.
Well, I was going to ask you, that was going to be my next question. Who would normally or typically come to you? So if someone's out there watching the show, is there something that they might be feeling, experiencing? Would it be emotional issues? Would it be physical issues, spiritual issues? Like, who's your typical client?
Yeah, do you want to talk about like what kind of clients tend to come to you?
Yeah, I think it also, in my experience, I think it also has to do with what is your own life experience as a practitioner. I have a certain set of life experiences myself, and tend to receive clients that have similar life experience.
So people are drawn to you because they have similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be part of it, energetically, attracting as far as experience. And also, anybody can come into this healing, whether they're doing fabulous spiritually or they might want to learn more about who they are as a spiritual being, or they might be struggling with a deep emotional experience or even a trauma experience. Specifically in my life, I've dealt with deep trauma that I now have come out of as a large part of the Rising Star, out of victim space and into strongly empowered and heart-opened human being, that everyday life feels much more giving and receiving, and just overall with a sense of ease. Now, that's my experience.
Right.
And some people might come to me that have physical ailment. Some people might come to me with emotional or psychological, even so. That psychological might be a result of a past experience that they can actually, through this energy healing system, cut out. So truly, this system is so incredible and amazing that you can essentially say to your source, please take that which no longer serves me and bring me to the truth of who I am.
Now, how do you work with traditional medicine? How do people come to you while they're seeking traditional medical? Like there's someone I know now that actually is suffering with brain cancer, and their family is going through a lot of suffering with that. So would someone like that, while they're seeking the medical side of it, would they come to you and want to address the spiritual side and kind of hit it from both sides? How does that mesh?
Well, all of our body systems are united. So in that way, it's very complementary to any other work that you're doing, whether it be surgically, whether it be psychologically, whether it be physically. We're all parts of whatever we're experiencing are connected. And this work, I myself am reaching out with other practitioners, such as surgeons, and building relationships with them to also bring this healing work into a holistic way of presenting that to their clients as well.
Have you been successful in working with surgeons where they're coming in? Can you touch upon any of that? Like talk about any experiences that you've had?
Sure. I have a specific client that I am working with now that we have built, like I said, a relationship to potentially work with his clients. And he has a specific practice that he wants it to be more of a holistic experience versus just surgery. Okay. So that truthfully the experience be, you know, yes, you need this surgery because if you, like Derek says, if you cut off your finger, you're not going to go to the nearest energy healer. Right. Right? You're going to get a surgeon and sew it back on. And sew it back on, right? But it helps in complementary, like it's like unifying both, yes, you need the surgery and maybe your body's giving you a message as to maybe slow down. You know?
That's fascinating that the doctor's open to that. I think that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Well, and I mean, that particular client, he's actually experienced yoga and energy with her, and he wants to bring it. So that's my experience too, is once someone experiences it, they want more of it. Right. On a personal note, for me, a lot of my journey has been, my mom lived with breast cancer for about 9 years. Okay. And then passed beautifully. Thank you, Mom. And so I have a lot of people coming to me that have various things. This energy works really well, too, if you're dealing with anxiety or depression, of which I've dealt with both at periods of time in my life, because it allows you to begin to quiet your mind. And it's like, I tell people, if you're on the table, the benefits of it are as if you had sat in a cave for 40 years as a yogi. But all you have to do is lay on this table for 40 minutes because it drops you to such a deep level, really, of yogic meditation, which yoga is a healing science for those that are real practitioners and have been practitioners for a long, long time. It's a healing science. So this energy is such a gift to humanity because you don't have to put yourself in a pretzel. Right. You don't have to, you know, go off to India and sit with the teacher in the loincloth, which, like, I would love to do. I'm not knocking it. Sure. However, you can just come to, you know, Cape Cod or wherever in New York City, anywhere, and be on a table and get, I believe, the same level of energy that can heal you.
Wow. So I don't need to buy my Lululemon pants and shirt.
Oh, don't talk about
Spend all
Lululemon.
that money.
That's a whole other
I don't need to
topic.
do that. Save a lot of money on that alone.
I go to Marshall's for my yoga pants.
So the person themselves that's receiving this, what are they actively doing? Are they just laying in sort of a meditative state?
They do nothing.
Are you taking
Doesn't
them
that sound
through,
awesome?
Are you taking them through anything at all, or just saying lay there and let us do everything?
Lay there, drop in.
Let yourself connect to source. And let whatever happens happen.
Yeah.
And what do they say? What does a first session person say when they're done? What's the normal
Well,
reaction to
many
it?
of my clients, I have to say, a lot of people are drawn to me because I'm a singer, I think.
And a great singer.
Thank you. They're clearing a lot of their throat stuff. They're in situations, in relationships, maybe a job, where they feel like they don't have a voice. They feel like they're having to swallow their real feelings or what they think, whether it's with a partner or... So a lot of the work I'm doing with people is encouraging them to trust what they know inside. And it's really, I'm just reflecting to them what they already know. And so often they'll come out of the session and they'll be like, I felt all this energy. I felt like you were pulling a rope out of my throat.
Wow.
I felt all this heat over my stomach. I felt like, did you touch me over here? And I just say, oh, it's all perfect. I don't know what's happening,
Wow.
Yeah. So, and sometimes people, because you have three, their first one, they'll think, oh, well, I didn't, that was relaxing. And then by the third one, they'll say, I feel like I can focus better. This person that used to drive me crazy, suddenly they're being nice to me. And I enlighten them as best I can by saying, we create our own reality. So our consciousness, whether we're conscious of it or not, is creating what's happening around us.
Now, I'm a big fan of power of intention. It's called all kinds of things, co-creating. So I usually can manifest in my life what I'm looking for. I've gotten pretty good at it. It took me a long time to get there, but I can now say that's what I want and just relax and it'll come. So other people seem to have trouble doing that when I'm like, well, it's so easy. Just put out into the universe what you want and it'll come. So would you help someone like that? Because there's got to be some blocks going on there somewhere.
It sounds like you should help people because you know how to do it so well.
I don't have time.
I'm still working on that. Can I come to your workshop? Absolutely. I think for me, I'll say one of the reasons why things don't manifest is I tend to be attached to results. So it's in my reaching, I think, that I often push things away, that the universe is really ready to give me.
Yeah.
So yes, the rising star helps me become aware of how I'm reaching. So then I can say, thank you.
Yeah,
Let it be.
and to, from being a part of the Rising Star and knowing this person that has brought forth the Rising Star, Derek, and his teachings that support the Rising Star, we know a lot of his teachings, his work that naturally comes through whenever a client has any sort of question or life change or that we can speak to, that it would come straight from our own experience with the teaching.
Right. I just want to throw in, because I know we're getting close to ending the show, if anyone has any questions for either of my guests, they can send an email to theholisticway@hotmail.com, and I will forward the email to both of you. And
Thank you.
That's how they can get in contact with you. In closing, is there anything that you want, that you haven't shared or been able to say that you want to say as a closing on what this has done for you, or for even people watching, is there any final thoughts that you'd want to share with people?
Maybe SQ Foundation.
Well, what I would love to just say is there's a third symbol that has just come. And so the Prima Agni came first, the Rising Star came, and the third symbol is called Om Shri Prima Prana Huti.
Okay.
And for those that practice yoga, prana is breath.
Right.
So this is the divine breath. This symbol is gorgeous, and I'm so sorry we don't have the slide, but that's okay. People can Google it. Om Shri Prima Prana Huti, and it's just it's personally exciting to me because I've been working with these symbols for a while, and I feel like there's a whole new energy of it, which means we as a planet are, I believe, are waking up. Even though I know there's lots of stuff you can read and it can feel like there's all this stuff happening, but I really feel right now that we are lifting. And these symbols, I feel, are a part of that lift.
That's a good feeling.
It is.
Any closing thoughts?
I would also say that within this healing system that we belong to a greater community of people, collective consciousness that is called SQ Wellness and the SQ Foundation, and that just to know that that's also, you can find practitioners all over, whether
Awesome.
it's here in Boston, New York, or LA.
Well, I've enjoyed having you both as guests today. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Todd.
learned a lot, and this is really exciting. And thank you for coming. Alicia's going to play us out. So thank you for watching. This has been The Holistic Way. I'm Todd Hart, and
This
take
is
it
a
away.
song I wrote after reading Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. If everything happens in the now, I guess I better turn off the TV. Guess I better get up off the couch, decide who it is I want to be. If everything happens from the heart, guess I better stop thinking so much, stand up and walk the path of love, opening to divine touch. Guess I better be. I guess I better be a better me. A better me. If service to God is service to man, guess I better get myself a gig. Guess I better open to the plan. With each song my heart gets big. Change is taking us by storm. Guess I better learn to let it go. Stand up and walk the path of love, trusting in what I now know. Guess I better be. I guess I better be. Oh, set the teacher free. You done?
Yep, it ended. That was actually perfect.